Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Chargers Analytics with Arjun. And just another great win by the Chargers this past Sunday. I mean, everything that I've hoped that Staley would do, he's done. Herbert, there's no regression at all. In fact, we're seeing a star, in LA right now. So, it's just amazing that a lot of the storylines that were going on in the offseason, like you have a new head coach who's kind of young, like is he able to handle all of the responsibilities? You have a second year quarterback with a coordinator change, a new head coach, a new offensive system. Is he going to regress? I mean, it's just like there were a ton of these, you know, uh, like things that were being thrown out, especially on analytics Twitter about the Chargers, and it does seem like the team has been able to dispel any negative things that have been said about the team. Overall, a pretty solid win yesterday on Sunday. I'm recording Monday, so yesterday. But I do think it's important to keep things in perspective. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, obviously. So we'll do our main topics for today is really just talking about Justin Herbert and how he's done so far, but also like is he doing things the right way, in the sense that like is he doing things that normal elite quarterbacks do, which I'll be explaining a little bit in this video, and then obviously preview the Ravens at the end of this episode. So let's talk about Justin Herbert. So Justin Herbert right now is a bona fide MVP candidate. And I think, at this point, if you were to rank him like among all quarterbacks, I think you have to put Mahomes and Rodgers up there out of respect. And then I think Kyler's playing at an MVP level right now. Like he's probably the MVP front runner. And then, that 4, 5, 6 range, you could pretty much throw Herbert, Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford in there. Like there's so much, it's so early in the year. Like we're only a quarter of the way done with the season, but Justin Herbert has shown improvement, and he's shown that he is an elite quarterback. Like he legitimately put the team on his back on Sunday. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is like how kind of like unsustainable his play is, and like he's been really good, but he's also been really good in situations where he's not supposed to be very good, which is a little concerning. So if we only look at first and second down, so these are the early downs, Justin Herbert hasn't been a good quarterback. So on early downs alone, he ranks as the 29th best quarterback per EPA per play. Now, is that concerning? Yes. And why is this happening? Well, it's kind of a combination of everything. I don't think their first down or second down play calling has been particularly good. Like when they're not in the red zone, or when they're not in the opponent's territory, it does seem like the drive stalls at the beginning. Either it's like a run pass, or it's like a quick screen and then a run and then a pass. Like they get behind on the sticks a little bit, and it is something to monitor going forward, that the Chargers just don't do a good job of staying ahead of the sticks. And I think at some point it will cost them. I think it will, because when we talk about how stable things are, and what we can expect the Chargers to be good at for the rest of the year. So something like early down, so first and second down EPA per play is something that you want to see Justin Herbert be good at, but he's just not. And for him to rank 29th, like it is a bit concerning, because if you look at that, the top 5, you have Mahomes, Stafford, Wilson, Brady, Mayfield. Those 4 of those 5 are the top 6, 7 best quarterbacks in the league. So I think that's one area where we really need to see some improvement from Justin Herbert. Like we need to see him be better on early downs. But I also think it's a little bit of Joe Lombardi. Like we need to see some better play calling on early downs. But on the flip side, Justin Herbert has been, I don't even care about Tyrod Taylor here. Justin Herbert has been far and away the best quarterback on third and fourth downs. And it is absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane how, we get to third down. I know we're going to go for it if it's not like a 4th and 8 in our own territory or something. And so he's so good on third and fourth downs. Like he has a 0.7 EPA per play. Like that's almost like 3 times the best quarterback in the league's EPA per play is throughout the course of the season. Like he is like otherworldly in on third and fourth down situations. But the problem with that is he's also ran the second most third down plays. And again, that's not something you want to continue. You want to try to stay ahead of the sticks and pick up first downs on first and second down. You don't always want to be relying on third and fourth downs to get a first down, because in the end, those things will hurt and those things will flip. Like, he is going to regress a little. Like, I'm expecting him to regress just a little bit back to the mean, just because like that's how these things play out. But the other theory we can throw out and we can think about is, what if Justin Herbert is this quarterback that's just good in everything that he's not expected to be good in? Like, what if he's going to be the quarterback that is just really good under pressure, which he was last year. He's really good on third and fourth downs because for whatever reason, like, they always have a good play call, or like the receivers are getting open or whatever. What if that's just who he is? Like, we can't, degrade him, or we can't like bring him down for being great on third and fourth downs, because, good offenses are able to convert on third and fourth downs. They just do it. They just are on third downs at a lower clip because they convert on first and second downs more often. So I thought that was super interesting. He's just been really, really good on third and fourth downs. And hey, the Chargers haven't failed. I don't believe they failed a third down or a fourth down conversion yet, outside of the fake punt. And I'm not counting that. So they really have been, I think, 9 for 9 or 8 for 8 on fourth down conversions, which is crazy. And the most important thing about that is, we don't win that game without Justin Herbert, but we also don't win that game if Staley doesn't be aggressive. And, going for it on 4th and 2 inside your own territory is crazy. Like, there's only one, maybe two, there's one other head coach that would make that decision. And that's John Harbaugh, who we play this Sunday against the Ravens. That's the only other coach, because I know he has faith in Lamar to get that first down. I would have said Kevin Stefanski has the faith in his offense to get it, but I don't think he trusts Baker that much. And even though Baker had a great game, nothing taken away from how he played this past Sunday, when you call a run on 3rd and 10, to ice the game instead of putting the ball in your quarterback's hands, that tells me a lot about how the head coach thinks of his quarterback. So, Staley's aggressiveness on 4th down is amazing. I'm super happy that, we have an enlightened head coach that understands analytics. And it's not just about, data tells all. It's just, you take the information that's given to you and you make informed decisions that help you win games. Anthony Lynn, let's be honest, like, we probably would be like 2 and 3 or even 1 and 4 at this point. It's just things that you have to think about. Now let's talk a little bit about how we've played in each quarter. Like, I think if you follow like Daniel Popper on Twitter, he said like we've been one of the worst, if not the worst, third quarter team. And he's right. Like, if you look at the third quarter alone, I'm all zoomed in too much. So this is the third quarter. So if you're looking at this with me, okay, there we go. If you're looking at this, the y-axis is defensive EPA per play. So you like negative EPA is better for defense. And the x-axis is offensive EPA per play. So the Chargers have been about average as a team on offense in the third quarter, but they've been the worst third quarter defense, which is a little bit surprising given that, Brandon Staley has been able to, or last year, Brandon Staley had the best second half defense in the league with the Rams. So that is a bit concerning. If we just look at each quarter. So in the first quarter, the Chargers are pretty much an average team. They pretty much sit like right in the middle there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but we sit like pretty much with everyone else. The second quarter, we've been a pretty good team. Really good offense, really good or above average offense, above average defense. So that's really good to see. And that explains, some things that we've scored a couple of touchdowns in the second quarter to go up 21-0, 14-0, yada, yada, yada. The most important thing is we have been lights the heck out in the fourth quarter. The money quarter, when you have to close out games, when you need to go win the damn game, the Chargers have shown up to play. And it's a good thing. Like, I think if anything, you probably want to be the best in the fourth quarter, which they have been. So they go from being average in the first quarter, pretty good in the second quarter, horrible in the third quarter, but really, really good in the fourth quarter. In fact, they've had the best offense by EPA per play in the fourth quarter, and they've had the fifth best defense. So yeah, they're getting gashed on the ground. Yeah. They can't stop the run. We knew this was going to be an issue coming to the season, but the Chargers are still 4-1. So if you're really that worried about the run defense, I respect you for being worried about it because it hasn't looked good, but stopping the run hasn't limited us at all, or not being able to stop the run hasn't limited us at all. And in fact, when you get into these shootout type games, in the end, you have to be able to pass the ball because you need to be the last. You need to be the one with the ball last to score. And obviously, the Chargers have it, Broncos don't. Okay, have one. Okay, so this is my last kind of like thing I made, or this is like a passing map of Justin Herbert. I just wanted to bring this up real quick. So one of the areas that I wanted to see Justin Herbert improve on was, throwing over the middle of the field, because it did seem like last year he was making a lot of like sideline throws. And that's honestly something that's continued this year. And, I'm not too concerned by it, but it is interesting that, Brandon Staley, who's, an analytics guy, I'm guessing he probably knows that throwing it over the middle is a little bit more efficient than throwing it towards the sidelines. But not every team in the league has Justin Herbert. Not every team in the league has a quarterback with an arm like Justin Herbert who can make those sideline throws without it being like too risky. So while I do think, throwing over the middle will probably help them in the long run, I'm not too worried about his passing map and him really, like, if you look at this, like a large majority of his completions have come on that left sideline outside the hashes. And same thing, like on the right side, he's made a lot of throws within 10 yards. And I would say most of this is like to Keenan Allen or something like that. But yeah, like he's been making a lot of sideline throws. And again, that's nothing to worry about. It's just that throwing over the middle in general has been more effective, more efficient for quarterbacks. These two dots represent the touchdown throws. This one's to Mike Williams in the third quarter, and this was the one in the second quarter. So everyone that was worried about the deep passing game, don't worry. They're still looking for the deep ball. And obviously, like, when you hit the intermediate routes time after time, the safeties are going to creep up, which leads to busted coverage. Okay, let's go on to the Ravens, and then we'll wrap it up. So for some of the data I'm going to use here, shout out to my guy, Ryan Wiseman at PFF, one of my intern coworkers. Great guy and made an awesome website here. What are the Ravens known for in defense? They're going to blitz the heck out of you. And, they have, so the colored bar represents how many times they do it. The black bars on the inside or outside represents the league average for that number of snaps. So the Ravens, you can see they're going to bring cover zero at an above average clip. It's something I'm sure the Chargers are going to be ready for. What I'm a little bit concerned about is the Ravens have one of the most exotic fronts in the league that, like, they'll show like a six-man rush and then drop two of them into coverage. And the two they drop into coverage could be, and like two edge rushers or something. They'll send it up the middle. And we've seen it this season that Filer and Slater haven't been exceptionally well at picking up twists and picking up stunts. So communication is going to be probably the biggest indicator of success for this offensive line, just because the Ravens, they love to blitz and they love to play man. And so if there's ever a time, in my opinion, for Mike Williams to prove himself, can he, if he can really show that he can separate against these corners, like, I don't know who he's going to go up against. It could be Jimmy Smith. I doubt that we see a lot of Marlon Humphrey on him just because Mike Will doesn't play in the slot, probably more Humphrey and Keenan. But if Mike Will can win consistently, I think he's going to get a lot of money this offseason. And that's a topic for another video, depending on how well Mike Will sustains his success. But yeah, so Ravens going to blitz a lot. If we look at how they've done at in each coverage, So Ryan doesn't have cover 0 here, unfortunately, but they've been really good at cover 2, and they've been really good at cover 2 man. Remember, EPA per play, better. It's better to be negative on defense. They've been really good at cover 2, really good at cover 2 man. So like I said before, we need to be on our game when it comes to getting open against their man scheme. Let's also talk a little bit about their run game. Like, I know if we were scared about the Browns, the Ravens have probably the most unique run game in the NFL. They love to run a lot of man concepts, a lot of power, and a lot of counter. They want to get Lamar, they want to fool you. So Derwin James, Kaiser White, Drew Tranquil, this game is probably up to them. Like, how well are they able to see who has the ball? Can the edge player set the edge? I'm going to assume that they're going to run away from Joey Bosa as much as possible. So wherever Joey is, they're just going to run to Chenna Nwosu or Kyler Fackrell. So as you can see, a lot of counter, man, power, inside zone. We can check how well they've done with each of that. And actually, if you look at some of their run concepts and how well they've done, they aren't that good at running man schemes. They haven't done well, running power concepts. They've done somewhat well running counter. Their best concept has been draw and trap. But if you look, like, they've run it like one time. So, in the end, they haven't been like the Ravens we've seen in the past. But that's also because Lamar has been a really, really good quarterback. Or not, he's not a really, really good quarterback, but like if we look at like his efficiency stats, he's been a better passer than years past. And like, I don't think he's relied he hasn't relied on his legs as much as he has. He only ranks 15th in EPA per play, but this is before the Colts. I'm doing this before the Colts Monday night game. So, maybe he jumps up with a really good performance. I'm also expecting Rashad Bateman to come back. So that's going to be a huge thing for their passing game. But yeah, that's the Ravens blitz heavy team. Got to be able to stop the run. I'm not too worried about their pass game because we have done a pretty solid job of limiting explosive plays, but Browns kind of shook us up. But I do think that was because we had to allocate more resources to stop the run. So that's going to bring us to the end of today's episode. Thank you for staying till the end if you were able to do that. Hope you all learned a little bit something about Justin Herbert, why, he is an MVP candidate right now, but there are some places where we need to see some improvement just because we could expect some regression on 3rd and 4th downs. And like, the Chargers probably are not going to convert every single 4th down they go for. That you just got to keep that in mind. So we got to get better on early downs and staying ahead of the sticks. So again, end of the video. And with that, as always, bolts up.